How's it going, YouTubers? Here bringing you guys another Digimon video. Today we have something that you guys specifically asked for. I did a poll on the channel and you guys wanted some BT8 deck profiles. So here I am to go over one of the decks I'm looking forward to the absolute most out of all of the BT8 format, and that is Yellow-Purple Mastemon. This list is going to be this deck will, in my opinion, be one of the top tier decks. It may not be the top, the number one tier deck, but it will be in tier 1, and I think as the format goes along, people will find out a few more combos and a few more cards that they can play in it to make it work really well. But from my testing, this version has worked incredible. It's done well against Armor Rush, it has done well against Imperial. It's not like a straight blowout to any of the decks. I know people think this deck is going to be too slow for the format, but trust me when I say that this deck works really, really well, and it is definitely not too slow. It has really good control options, and it can be fast when you have the right pieces in hand. You can really make your board very, very quickly and make it hard for your opponent to deal with. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this Mastemon deck profile. So first and foremost, what we have going here is going to be our eggs. I run 4 copies of Demi-Meramon. It is the most consistent egg. I like to get the extra draw. You'll see what we pair with it here in a second. You might have already glanced at it if you were looking at the rookies, but this just works really well. It gives us a little bit more cycle to find our pieces, and then it also lets us choose what we want to discard. I don't personally like indiscriminate discard in this deck. That's why I don't run cards like Mist Memory Boost. I'll mention that a little bit later. That's coming out. But indiscriminate discard doesn't work as well. You like to make sure you know what cards you put in your trash so you can keep those for follow-up plays. So I like running Demi-Meramon as our egg. I only run 4. I don't run a 5th egg. I like the max consistency of seeing the Demi-Meramon. Now, next up for our first rookie, we have Tamers. On deletion, draw 1 card. This works really, really well with the Demi-Meramon. This is what you really want to digivolve your Demi-Meramon into, if possible, because you get to draw 1, and you effectively get to draw 2 and discard 1. So it gives you a little bit more cycle, a little bit more graveyard selection, so you are able to play it that way. It works really well. I run 4 of because I have 4 of these. Again, you're not always going to run all of these. You don't always want to go through all of your eggs because you want to make sure you have 1 left. That way your purple and yellow dual color options are always online, so that you don't have to worry about having a purple Digimon on field if you don't want to worry about it getting removed. Next up, our only other Digimon, we run 4 copies of Tsukaimon on play. This is from the starter deck. On play, you get to reveal an top 3 and take 1 Archangel, Angel, or Fallen Angel from the search, and then add it to your hand, bottom deck the rest. Let it be known that Lucemon Chaos Mode is a Demon Lord / 7 Great Demon Lords, so this card cannot grab Lucemon. So just know that going forward, most of the time you're not going to worry about grabbing Lucemon, but it can't grab those. It's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now you'll notice we only run 8 level 3s, I should say. That's never really been an issue. Tsukaimon gives you pretty good search. You're usually hard playing stuff like your Gatomon and then going up your plays from there, or cheating stuff out with stuff like Flame Hell Scythe. So I've never missed the extra eggs or the extra level 3s. People have tried to run, I've seen lists run like 12, 13 because they're worried about bricking. If you open up Flame Hell Scythe and Gatomon, or if you have any other way to get any of these cards to trash, but if you open up this Gatomon or Akari in your starting hand, or the Tsukaimon, you're pretty set. You know, if you open up Gatomon, you're good to go to the races, in my opinion. So I'm never worried about maxing out on these. Maybe you run up to 10, maybe to run something like Gazimon, but memory blockers are very important, but it depends on how the meta shapes up. If you're not going to see as much memory gain other than like maybe some Hammer Sparks from stuff like your Imperial players, then maybe that's not going to be a thing to worry about as much. I think it still will be, and if side decks are available, definitely have your Gazimons in the side deck. But for main board stuff, I think this is all that I really needed. I haven't ever missed having any more rookies. I've never really worried about it. Sometimes I'd literally just like to have the egg so I don't have the thought about raising it. But onto our level 4s. I run 2 copies of Witchmon. Solid card. It comes out in the starter deck. It's a security Digimon when it comes out, and then on play you get to grab a level 5 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash. This is pretty much all of our good cards that we're looking for. Our eggs are level 5 or lower. You can grab another Witchmon. You can get this Gatomon back if it has already died. You can also get something like your Lady Devimons back. So it works really, really well in the deck. You could definitely bump it up to 3 by taking out this Gatomon, which I'll go ahead and skip ahead and explain to, which is just the promo Gatomon that has blocker if you have a purple Digimon on your opponent's turn, and then on play you get to recover if there's 3 or fewer security cards. This is really nice. It comes up every now and then. It's pretty easy to cheat out maybe the Flame Hell Scythe. Maybe you don't have like a Magna Angemon in hand and you use something like Flame Hell Scythe and you can bring it back out. It being a blocker kind of comes up. Since it's only 5k, it does get bottom decked by the effect of Pyldramon from the Jagras, but it is still substantial because it is a blocker, so not all decks can get around it. It's pretty good against Armor Rush unless they have done the smart thing, in my opinion, with Armor Rush and then put a little bit of a DNA Digivolve core into it. So all that being said, if you don't like this, it's worked out in testing, but if you don't like this, you can definitely run a third copy of Witchmon. I think it would still work pretty well. And then we have Black Gatomon. This is going to be something that is, in my opinion, always better than Ginkakumon Promote. Ginkakumon Promote, yes, can Digivolve on top of your level 4s for 1, but I don't think that's normally what I'm ever doing with Ginkakumon Promote. It came up in Eismon Rush for the current BT7 format, but other than that, a lot of the times it was just going to be an Evo, so or hard play, I'm sorry, which is what you're going to do with this Gatomon. You hard play this Gatomon for 5, or you cheat it out via an effect just like you would Promote. And the fact that this Gatomon is a 5 cost means that with a memory boost and a memory tamer, you can just hard play this without having to worry about having 2 memory boosts on field like you would if it was a Promote. You're not as worried about these Digivolution costs, but like I said, it's got Rush, it's got 6000 DP, it's dual purple and yellow. It synergizes perfectly with the deck. It works specifically well with this. It's also purple, so I think this card could even phase out Promotes in the future, unless you have some way to make use of the Promote Digivolving for 1 on top of a level 4. But this just works really, really well. It being dual color also synergizes very well with the deck. It gives Inherited Retaliation, which kind of comes up every now and then. So, you know, if you want to bait out, keep your Digimon suspended, and you kind of want to bait out your opponent not deleting it or swinging into it, or that making them have to trade, that is also something you can do. So Inherited kind of comes up, but really it's just synergizes well with its color combination, and it's better than Promote in every way, almost, in my opinion. So, and then the best card in the deck, pretty much, this is Gatomon. This is started at Gatomon. Yeah, it's a little small 4k, but hard play for 5, you get a whole bunch of value off of it. You reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. You get to grab any 1 yellow and 1 purple Digimon from them to your hand. Bottom deck the rest. So this card in this deck is usually almost always going to net you 2 cards off of the search, and then it's got the Your Turn effect when you Digivolve into an Archangel or Fallen Angel. Heads up, all of our level 5s are Archangels or Fallen Angels. Then you don't ever have to worry about this effect not being live for the Digimon that can Digivolve. And then that also facilitates your DNA Digivolve. It puts this Inherit live at the end of your turn. You can DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimons in play into one into your hand. Free DNA Digivolve into your Mastemon. Super, super strong. I say free, I know you have to pass turn and whatnot, but super, super strong effect. It's just, if you have this card in your opener, you never mulligan this hand. The hand has to be utter garbage in every way, shape, or form, and even then this Gatomon hard play on turn 1 usually can get you there. Like, if you have this Gatomon and this Lady Devimon in hand, you 100% keep, because you have almost full combo, and you're gonna search 3 with this, and you're gonna dig a little bit deeper with this. So definitely what you're gonna go with. Best card in the deck, pretty much, in my opinion, other than Mastemon herself. Then we have Lady Devimon. This is from BT3. A lot of people know what she does when you Digivolve into her. Draw 2 and then trash 2, so effectively draw 3, trash 2. Graceful Charity. It has the Inherit. When you use an option card, you delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower level 3 Digimon. That doesn't come up super, super often in this deck because we run a few options, but they're kind of more expensive. But it can come up, you know, if you have a certain situation where we have a Mastemon on field, you have this in Inherit, so you can really do a combo where you basically delete a level 3 and a level 4 or level 3 or something like that. So always just good around card. Lucemon Chaos Mode. This is going to be mainly what we're worried about here is the on-play effect. Delete one of your opponent's Tamers or level 6 or lower Digimon. This pairs well with the effect of Mastemon to play a level 5 or lower Digimon out from your security. So, and then paired with Mastemon's effect to delete a Digimon of level equal to or less than the played Digimon by an effect. So basically Chaos Mode can come out and delete a Tamer and a level 5 or lower Digimon, or delete a level 6 or lower Digimon and a level 5 or lower Digimon, whatever pick your poison. So that's really what he's in here for. So we only run him as a 2-of. We don't have to see him, but he is nice, and then we're usually going to pitch him into the trash anyway. So running 2. I'm running 1 Lady Devimon from the starter deck. When you Digivolve, you trash a card from your hand to reveal 3 and add a yellow and purple Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel from their traits to your hand. This is just more search. It's basically like a Gatomon, a little bit more restrictions because it has to fall into the same categories as a Tsukaimon, but it works out pretty well because you're usually, you know, all of your top end is going to have one of these attributes and they're going to be dual colored. Usually. So I run one of all of your yellow Digimon gain retaliation kind of comes up because it can make your black Gatomon or your other yellow Gatomon have retaliation. So, and that's only on your turn. If it was all turns, then it'd be really good in a tandem with this Gatomon. But all that being said, we only run one of. We're not super worried. It's really nice that it's 6k DP because it pairs well with our Flame Hellscythe that I'll go over in a little bit. Next up, probably one of the best cards in the deck to pair with the Gatomon's Inherit and the Lady Devimon combo. You have Magna Angemon on play, trigger, recover 1. The Inherit's nice too. For every 3 cards you have in your security, you get an extra 1k DP. But if you go Gatomon into Lady Devimon, essentially for 1 cost because of Gatomon's effect, then you have Gatomon's effect, inherited effect live. You hard play this Magna Angemon, you get a recover. Then you get to, at the end of turn, DNA Digivolve into the Mastemon, and then you get to use Mastemon's effect to maybe bring out Magna Angemon from your trash, or Lucemon Chaos Mode from your trash, or any of these cards from your trash to pop another Digimon on field. And then you're like, turn 2, if that was what you had, Gatomon, Lady Devimon, Magna in hand. Turn 2, you have 6 security, maybe more if you have a second Magnamon that you can play out. You've popped a bunch of the board, you've got a little bit more board control, and then you have this Mastemon and other stuff on board. So super good combo. I know this card is expensive now, and you can see why. It works really well in this deck. You should definitely run 3. I don't think you need to run 4, but you could make room to run 4, maybe cut a Lady Devimon or one of these Angelomon. So all that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this Angelomon. This is starter deck Angelomon. It can Digivolve on top of your yellow or purple, so you know it synergizes well with any of these, but they're all yellow. I mean, Witchmon's purple too, but most of the time you're going to want to go on top of this Gatomon. But on play is what its effect is. It's basically like the Angelomon from BT8, which that one was on Digivolve, give one of your opponent's Digimon -2 security attack. This one is on play, give one of your opponent's Digimon -2 security attack. That pairs well with the way the deck works, playing stuff out with Mastemon and Flame Hellscythe being a thing. And then its inherited effect is really strong, where if you have a purple Digimon in play, this Digimon gains security attack +1. You will always, if this inherit is live, you have a purple Digimon in play, because your top end, your Ophanimon Fall Down Mode and Mastemon are both purple and yellow Digimon. So it pairs very strongly with those, and it's, in my opinion, better than, let's say, the Magna Angemon or the BT3 Angelomon that lets you, if you're at 3 or less security, play out a level 3 or yellow Digimon. We don't run any yellow Digimon, so that's one reason we don't run it. But 2, having the security attack is almost better in some situations than the Bushi Agumon. Sure, there's situations where it comes up where you swing with this, the first check kills it, and the Bushi could have come out. But at the same time, you also have the same situation where you swing, the first check brings out something that kills the Bushi but doesn't kill the big body, and then now you've lost that extra aggression from playing out the Bushi. So, and there's no way to really restand effectively in this version of the list. So this one is generally the better one that I'm going to go with. So that's why I run it at 3, so I like to see it. I'll go ahead, skip ahead to Mastemon. This is going to be your biggest boss monster. This is what you're really going for. We run 4 of because we want to see this card. DNA Digivolve 0 from a yellow level 5 and a purple level 5. When you Digivolve, you get to place a yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash into your security stack. That's any card. So, you know, you could place a Mastemon into it if you want to. But it's really when you DNA Digivolve, you get to look at your security stack and play a level 5 or lower Digimon from it, not color specific, just 5 or lower Digimon, and play it without paying its memory cost. Then you shuffle your security stack. Again, this pairs really well with stuff like Chaos Mode coming out, triggering its your turn effect or all turns effect. When you play another Digimon, by an effect you delete one of your opponent's Digimon of level equal to or lower. So Chaos Mode can come out, pop a Tamer and pop a level 5 or lower. Like I said, pop a level 6 and pop a level 5 or lower. You can bring out this Lady Devimon to set up for maybe next turn DNA Digivolve plays, Magna Angemon for recovery, negative security attack with the Angelomon. Pick your poison. A lot of good on play effects. You could even bring out a Gatomon from trash to get a little bit more, from security to get a little bit more cycle, and maybe set up for like another combo like that the following turn. So all sorts of good plays you can do. Your mileage may vary as what combo you want to go with, but there's all sorts of good ways to work with it. And then our other level 6, people have told me that I've heard some people say that this is a bad card. It is a weak card. Those people, in my opinion, are very wrong. I don't care about this when Digivolving or Digivolve from an Ophanimon for 2. That's whatever. That's not what I'm worried about. When Digivolving, if it has a purple card in its Digivolution cards, this Ophanimon pops a level 4 or lower Digimon. If there's a yellow card in its Digivolution cards, recover 1. If you have both, you have both. You get to pop a level 4 and you get to recover. It's really, really good. And being able to pair it up with something like a Mastemon into a Chaos Mode into an Ophanimon, you've cleared 3 things off the board if you didn't have to pass turn. Or you can get extra recovery, you know, Mastemon into Magna Angemon into Ophanimon, you've recovered up, and now you have 2 big bunguses on board to deal with. So it's really, really strong. And then on deletion, you get to play a purple or yellow level 4 from your trash. That is your Gatomon for your recover. That is this Gatomon for more search. If this Gatomon was in the sources, let's say you had to go Gatomon into Lady Devi or Gatomon into one of these Angels, then you get to go into the Ophanimon and then it dies. This is in trash, so even though it was in the source, it's in trash. You get to play it back out, get its search again, and then you get to continue your plays. So super, super strong card. All sorts of stuff you could do with it. Whoever doesn't play this card, at least as a one of in a Mastemon list, I think you're just not, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not doing what you really should. Yes, this is your big boss monster that you want to go to, but this has really good synergy with the rest of the deck. So definitely run it as a one of. I'm running as a 2 of because I always love to see this card. So, and at a 2, it works pretty well. I don't see it too often when I would rather see a Mastemon, but when I do see it, I usually have a good combo with it. Onto our top end, our level 7s. This is 2 copies of Zwart Defeat. You can play this without paying its memory cost. Out of security, no battle happens. You can Digivolve into it to pop a Tamer. All of your level 6s have the purple, so they're able to go into this. And then when it's deleted, of course, delete one of your Digimon. This synergizes really well with a Mastemon effect, where Mastemon is an all turns effect, so if they check the Zwart Defeat out of security, and you basically get to pop anything. It's a level 7, so as long as they have levels, looking at you, D-Reaper, as long as they don't have no levels, as long as they have some type of level, then this can pop basically anything on the board with Mastemon's effect. So super good card. You can make the effort to run it as a 3 of. If you run it as a 3 of, maybe drop the Ophanimon down, but I like this. I don't always need to see this card. When it comes up in security, it's nice. When it's not in security, it's okay, but it's nice to have. And then I run 2 purple memory boosts. If you're running more of a yellow base, which I'll go over some cards to maybe play if you're going to play a yellow base. If you're running that, then maybe run this as a yellow memory boost. Search for, grab a yellow card if you're running yellow, purple if you're running purple, gain 2 memory. So a little bit of diversity here if you want to run a different color base. And then we have the best option in the deck, in my opinion. 6 cost. It synergizes well with some of the other stuff you can pull off in this deck. But you get to give neg 6 to one of your opponent's Digimon, and that's already incredible because it's good against a lot of Armor Rush Digimon where they are less than 6,000 DP unless you're something like a buffed up Magnamon. I think Magnamon's already at 7k, so but it gives that neg 6 so you can't get around it with Armor Purge, and then you get to play a purple or yellow Digimon card with 6,000 DP or less from your trash. If you haven't noticed, other than this Lady Devimon and this Chaos Mode, all of our level 5s or lower are 6k. This Lady Devimon, this all of our Gatomons and stuff, this Magna Angemon, this Angelomon. Pair that something like with your Kari. We'll just go ahead and mention her now. She's your memory tamer. If you add a card to your security attack, you can suspend her. Or to your security stack, you can suspend her to gain a memory. If you have like several of these on field, you can play a Flame Hell Scythe for effectively 1 less memory for each card you have on field, because you can use this Flame Hell Scythe to play out a Gatomon if you're at 3 or less security and get the recover, or to play out a Magna Angemon. You have another body, he is 6,000, you do get the recover on play unconditionally, so it's one of the better targets from this. You get the negative security attack from the Angelomon, so this card is just all around good. Even if you just have 1 Kari, if your opponent has the memory tamer, you can play this, get rid of a body, bring out something like a Magna, an Angelomon, something like that, even a Gatomon to set up your plays. Super, super strong card. Always want to have this card in hand or in security, so we run it as a 4 of. I run this as a 3 of. This is Chaos Degradation. You could make the effort to make the case to not run 3, maybe run 2, and adjust some of your numbers for something else, maybe another memory boost or maybe more rookies. But this card is really good to get rid of a few pesky cards like Blitz Omni. Blitz Omni gets around being able being deleted by an effect or bounce back to hand or deck because it has the protection to add a level 6 back to hand. This doesn't add it to any of those areas. It doesn't delete it, doesn't add it to hand or deck. It adds it to the security stack, so it gets around that effect. it also gets around the big bodies like Susanoo-amon, some of the 15Ks that are hard for this deck to deal with that they can't just delete unless they, you know, a Zort comes out of security or something. This just takes it and put it into the security stack. And then you get to choose top or bottom, and then you get to shred a security card. So out of security, it doesn't do quite as much. It just takes one of your opponent's Digimon and then bottom securities or top security it. It all depends on the situation on which spot you're going to put it in. But if you play it, then you get to trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So super strong card. Now don't forget that these dual color cards have to have both colors on field. So that's why we run purple eggs and the Kari, so we can have them constantly live. So I run it as a 3. It's really nice. It's basically like a Gaia Force out of security with a little bit extra work. You know, it technically gives your opponent a recover, but at the same time, it gets rid of some bodies that may be hard to deal with otherwise. And then I've already gone over Kari. We run her at 4 because we definitely want to see her. If she's great in your opening hand, it's debatable on whether or not Kari or Gatomon is your turn 1 play. If you know what your opponent's playing and you think that you can get set up with a Gatomon without getting punished too hard by just playing the Kari first and them setting up pretty well, then you can start off with the Kari. But sometimes Gatomon turn 1 blind is really solid, because then you can get your pieces set up and then you can already get a Mastemon turn your second turn if that works out, because you have enough pieces in hand. So, you know, you definitely want to see this card though at some point, because it does synergize well with like your Flame Hell Scythe, Gatomon, Magna-Angemon, stuff like that. So, but overall, that's the main list. Before I wrap up everything, I'm going to go into some tech cards that you can do, or some different cards, like if you're going to run a yellow base. Here we're going to have this Salamon. This has the same end of turn DNA Digivolve effect. If you're going to run this, I think most people that are running this may be trying to do some cheeky stuff with this Chimeramon, because most of our Evo up is very expensive. It's hard to get this effect off effectively, in my opinion, unless you're going into some, like, you want to get a cheeky Chimeramon off at the end of turn to pop a 4K or something like that, or to just have this Chimeramon to follow up for the next turn to go into an Ophanimon, stuff like that. If you're running, this works for purple as well, but I've had a situation come up where I have a purple egg, a yellow Tamer, and then I Digivolve my Salamon on top of my purple egg, and then now I've lost my purple source if I don't have a purple already on board. And then I can't use stuff like my Flame Hell Scythe and Chaos Degradation. So just let that be known if you're going to play this card. A little bit of give and take with it. This one is a little bit of an interesting thing. This is Armadillomon, yellow or blue, so you're only able to really use this effectively if you're in yellow, unless you're only going to hard play it. On play, you reveal the top 4. You get to add a dual colored yellow card, so it has to have yellow, it has to be dual colored, but it is a card, so this grabs you stuff like your Chaos Degradation and your Flame Hell Scythe. It grabs options. It doesn't have to be a Digimon. So that's why I thought I'd mention it, because if you are going to run a yellow base, this card might actually work out pretty well for you. It can only grab dual color cards, but there's plenty of those in the deck that you can usually net off of this. Psychmon is really good for certain matchups. It stops the Stingmon for coming in for less, because that does reduce the memory cost, not gain a memory. It also stops stuff like Beelstarmon if you think you're going to see a lot of that. I don't think it'll be around too much, but you never know. And then this is definitely a card that I think once D-Reaper comes out, you should contemplate mainboarding this, at least as a 2 of, if not maxing out as a 4 of, because you don't have to worry about this effect coming into play for your version for Mastemon, but this hard stops D-Reaper. Unless they're running yellow cards and they have something like the Spiral Masquerade, it's hard to get rid of small bodies, and this shuts down D-Reaper entirely, because all of their things are about reducing play cost. Hell, even the first Searcher reduces it to 1 off of an effect if you don't have another Searcher in play. And the Reaper just can't do anything. He's a 20 hard cost. You reduce his play cost by trashing the rest of the sources. If you can't reduce play cost, this card just completely negates all of that. So D-Reaper is a little bit of a more difficult matchup if you don't get there fast enough as a Mastemon player, because you can't clear the board because they don't have the levels, but Psychmon can just hard stop that down a lot. So I really like the Psychmon for that. If sideboards are a thing, you can definitely like mainboard this, and if you run into D-Reaper, mainboard a couple, and then if you run into D-Reaper, sideboard in a couple more. So just know that this card will be important in the future. It's okay now, but it gets better once D-Reaper comes out for the Mastemon players. I've already gone over Chimeramon, so I'm not going to say much more. This is Digimon Emperor. This is one of those things where since you can delete level 5s effectively, you get to draw one off of Digimon Emperor, but then it's also a good tech for sideboards if you're going to run into a lot of armor rush, because on your opponent's turn you get to when they raise a level 3 from the breeding area, then you get to gain 2 memory. Since it is a tamer effect, memory blockers don't stop this. So this is really mainly just a tech card to go over if you're going to see a bunch of those. I don't think it's worth mainboarding, but I thought it'd be still good to mention. And then I mentioned earlier missed memory boost. I don't like indiscriminate trashing. I like to know what I'm trashing. So this card comes up if you want to have it to get a little bit more cards in your trash, get some draw, and then have the delay effect. But I just think purple memory boost is all around better. So, but with all that being said, that is the list. I know it's a little bit of a longer video today, 24 minutes, but I know some of these cards are new to people, so I thought I'd go over some of the combos and stuff as I went over it. Maybe I didn't go over every combo, so if you guys have questions, be sure to leave comments down below. I'll try to answer a few about my choices. And if you also have any comments about things that you would like to add or change, maybe change up some of the ratios or why I did ratios this way, just leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer those. I enjoy looking at the comments and answering some of you guys' questions. But with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the deck list, be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because you guys wanted some more BT8 deck profiles. I haven't posted any yet. This will be the first one. But if you guys really enjoy this one, you want to see some more on some of my other takes for the coming format, then stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We will be having more of these along with some gameplay videos and some older ruling videos that I'm going to go over here in a little bit. But guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment anything that you have down below. And until next time, guys, have a great one.